Welcome to Frosted Windows. Today we are going to read an article by Daily Investors published on the 7th of September 2023. This article is about the budget cut that is experienced by South African government and the concerns that are raised by the policy analyst in the Center for Risk Analysis is that we might have, we have to expect social unrest and so much frustration from the public as soon as the departments fail to deliver on social programs. So we might see a lot of strikes, we might see a lot of unhappiness from our communities as they are expecting services to be rendered by government. The government might have to cut back on spending for social services due to budget constraint, which could lead to social unrest and increased frustration with the status quo. This is according to the economist and the head of policy analysis at the Center for Risk Analysis by the name of Chris Hayting. His comments come after the National Treasury recently announced that the state is facing a severe budget deficit and will have to introduce stringent cost-cutting measures. The National Treasury said South Africa's monthly budget balance fell back into a larger than expected and record monthly deficit of 143.8 billion in July, following a 36.6 billion surplus in June. Aside from a decreased tax revenue, government expenditure is outpacing budget expectation, increasing by 9% year-on-year from April to July. This is significantly higher than the February budget forecast of a 1.5% increase for the entire fiscal year. The response to this situation, the National Treasury has proposed drastic steps to rein in spending as the government has run out of money and faces a debt trap. Not ruin, they did not ruin it, my apologies. The Sunday Times recently reported that the National Treasury has sent a letter to provinces asking for significant expenditure cutbacks. The measures include a freeze on the new public service jobs, stop procurement contract for all infrastructure projects, and keep public servants' salary increase in check. So no new job, no increase. Yeah, this is the status quo. The head of policy analysts told ENCA that the biggest risk of the budget shortfall is that the government will no longer be able to fulfill its role of being a developmental state. In other words, the state will no longer be able to provide services like healthcare, education, basic infrastructure, and social grant. When your debt burden as well as the interest on your debt get over higher and higher, you then need to make some very pragmatic, difficult decision in terms of your spending. That's what the analyst said. And that in turn could mean a cut to services upon which so many South Africans depend. He warned that this could lead to an increase in social unrest, frustration with the current status quo. The analyst said that the government is being pulled into different directions as it faces a massive budget shortfall on one side and the upcoming election year on the other, facing a lot of pressure to secure funding for the rest of the year, which means they may have to resort to radical moves. You've got a tax base under a lot of pressure, but also you got the context of election and promises around things like national health insurance, a basic income grant, and other form of spending. He continued to explain this circumstance. Where is the balance going to come from? Is if there is going to be a balance, yes, where is the balance going to come from if there is going to be a balance? He's asking these questions. He said the weakening of the rand due to domestic problems like the logistic crisis, load shedding, crime is making it more difficult for government to raise revenue by selling government bond. This in turn means the government can't raise as much as it would have done before, which puts yet more pressure on it to make very difficult pragmatic decisions. There it is, Bahlali. These are the circumstances and the challenges that is faced by government of South Africa, and they have taken steps to cut back on budget, but the analysts are really, really concerned that in as much as we cut, are we still going to have more money, and where is it going to come from? And from the social perspective, the concern is that our communities, they are going to go to the street, they are going to go to war against the government. Thank you so much.